Sure. Last time I'll share my screen. You see here, right? Okay, record option. There is an option called record to cloud and record to this computer. I think I stored it in this computer. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get started. I'm not sure whether Venkateshwan is joining or not. You have the Jira items ready? Backlog? Or let me give me a minute. Here it is. There is a Jira board. SHaDE.net. SBA. So do we look at NextGen or SBA itself?
I think tasks are spread across. I still don't get what is the difference between NextGen
I'll tell you.
or
SHaDE BAU is typically have 3 projects. Once again, I'll repeat it, right? SHaDE BAU is all about what is currently going on in the present production. So where, if at all anything we want to make it, if you remember search page, we have restricted the masked the sensitive data, email ID, etc. to be masked. As it is in the current state of application, what we wanted to make a change as it is. So we do that.
Okay.
SHaDE BAU is the other application which we have been operating at admin level, in which if you want to, I think most probably we would have parked there. SHaDE NextGen probably is, I think, let me see. Here I don't really see anything. So what we can do, you know what, Janani? I think SHaDE BI only we have all. I think that's fine. SHaDE NextGen, we will actually start capturing for the NextGen login itself. I think we should get started gradually. I think Venkateshwaran said his team members are interested in it. So let's actively start. Probably Confluence will start putting the requirements. We know what to be done product wise. And then eventually in the Jira, we'll put a task. In each sprint, what we can take it, typical agile way we can take it in SHaDE NextGen. Let it called as a real NextGen. And we'll do that, right? So now, eventually what we wanted to do, here it is. SHaDE BAU, we have quite a few. So
I think the report tasks are part in NextGen.
no, that is the application report is Docker. The actual report, the URL parameter, path is given under NextGen. Eventually, yes, we wanted to show it as a NextGen itself, bootstrap enabled. So in the website, if you look at it, the report comes under this thing only.
Website, it comes under NextGen.
SHaDE NextGen reports in the website, right? Here we have given that. But certainly we need to have the actual application itself. So wait, BAU improved. That is what SBI, what we are working on. SBI. So under SHaDE BAU, there are quite a few. So is it worth taking a look at this as well, probably today? And
yes,
maybe we can take a look at BA improved as well, time permits. Let's do that. So let me go that. What we can do, Janani, now? Eventually, we'll start taking a look. This is the backlog, all work, right? Basically. Summary. I don't know where I was working on. I think for earlier 2022, 3 times I think SHaDE BAU improved it was, if I'm not wrong. SHaDE BAU.
I think it's improved. Yeah.
Where was that releases? Okay, here you see. Yeah, unreleased. Sprint release design. Oh, V18. Here I have. Why unreleased? It should have been released. Or we released. This was released. Only 2, is it? Oh, wow. 2021. Amazing. Amazing speed. Where do you see the related work? Okay, then. No, was it here or SHaDE BA improved or create a release? But where do I see? Delete is fine. But I should be able to see the tickets. Why I don't see that? They have upgraded. It was pretty simple. Summary, backlog will go. Sprint 3. This is the backlog. What about the other two sprints? SB sprint. Is it in GitHub or Bitbucket? I created. Same SBI, I remember I was adding all this. So here, more releases, deployments. Now I remember I was working on SBI underscore. All the tickets were. Oh, okay. I think it's SBI here itself. Let's look at it. Wait a minute. So getting somewhere, which is fine. Here it is. Journey. You see,
Okay.
I was telling you, right? SBI 134 print 2. Oh, that is the 2021 PR where we merged GitHub. Okay, from Bitbucket to GitHub we merged, right? I think the screen is clear, right?
Yes,
5,
yes, ma'am.
5, 4, 5, 10, 6, 2021, exactly 4 years before. So beneficiary create, read, update. I don't know. It was all done. Profile, add a transaction type in the profile transaction list on each appeals. Environment profile. Footer version info to be configured. That's what we have it here. Audit trails to be captured in profile update member beneficiary. Change the project name from SHaDE NextGen to SBI. Remember? Login details to be captured in the system. Okay, profile user login history. Appeal creation should have a list of beneficiaries to choose. Yeah, GoDaddy Linux. SSH setup for SHaDE prod server. View beneficiary does not list the beneficiary without an appeal. Create a staging or prod environment. SBI test. Squash commit. If you remember, we had this as well. SBI test. Tested database when you want to operate, it will show on
Mm. Mm.
SBI test. I think we still have it. Wait a minute. Let me. Okay. This is what. See here. You are using the staging environment. Literally, the application is the same. You get it right, Rani?
Yes, ma'am.
But other point. Venkatesh is joining. Make a note. Probably. Hey, Venkatesh.
Hello. Sorry, sir.
Sure. No problem. You're able to see?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Sure. So we just started regulation. We started looking at just a bit of history, right? The Jira board, we are looking at it. Eventually, shared NextGen, we don't have any task. Let it be as it is for our actual NextGen application development. Okay. But in the application, reports we have categories under website, shared next. Let that be is it. No worries. Let that be as what it is. But we can start using this for our actual application development. Under NextGen, we can start doing it. Right? That's fine. You are clear? In only
Yeah, clear.
website, we have configured the path of the reports under NextGen. Let that be so. Let's not disturb it. But we should start doing it. Assuming if I remove this, we should. Okay, here is what it is, right? We should start getting in the actual application here, NextGen. Actual application development should start from here. When you say login, etc. Right? That's what we should. Let the reports be as what it is, under which we have a reports. I think here we had. These reports will be always reports, right?
Yes, sir.
Boom will take us to shared NextGen, right? But we do have two different tasks. One is shared BAU, other is shared BAU improve. The shared BAU one, is the actual current running production. So that is for the external people whom we have given. Second is SHaDE BAU improved. That is what our SBI, what we have here. SHaDE BAU improved, right? SBI. Inside which I was actually, you see here,
The couple of transactions.
correct, not transaction. 2021, I was working diligently with each sprint. I created a task. Sprint 2, I delivered, right? Undefined index user ID, missing sequence ID, jumbled sequence ID, whatever. Table bank account should be available to track the bank accounts properly. Not sure, it's been 4 years exactly. More than 4 years. 2021 June, I have done. I was again all alone working on. I was a Jira admin, I was a developer, I was a deployer, I was a tester. I think that is when Jeremy we had Sabarish and all, Kushbu. When I was not sure, I think I came back to Chennai, Ramapuram, where I was living in there. We were trying to do that, right? So these are the list of tasks we did it. So let me see. What is it?
No, from SHaDE BAU, when you take a code, how do you make sure that the existing functionality is getting replicated into the other environment?
That's what I'm telling you. Test right. Test right. Here it is. Release notes committed. What I have given the tickets, right? Commits. Here is one commit. Yeah. Whatever the item we created. Created a tested database for staging before running the DB scripts, right? So eventually, this is the test environment if you look at it, right? This is where generally I wanted to capture today's notes. Staging environment again, I created a new database called SBI test, under test. Inside ours, we need to see that. I'm not sure. Let's look at the C panel. We would have the complete database as a production data, as a copy, as test. But that's again not right. Just for the sake of any changes, if you do want to, if you want to revert it, remove it, it shouldn't impact the actual database. Conceptually, we should have a dummy data. Yes, actual purpose of it. But when I cloned it, when I made it for the purpose of test database, I just cloned it from test and created retained as a test database. That's all I did. I did not have the real dummy data in it.
Okay.
Copy of the production, but named in a different collection, so that in case anything goes wrong, that doesn't come back to the actual data production, right? But this also we can make it better, make a note. One thing, as on date, we are not taking a clone. We are not keeping a test data up to date as it of production. We take the backup of the live data only. We need to really have a plan of test data. Probably dummy data we can fill in with it, right? Maybe, see, we call it as two different. I put it as, made a statement, call it as staging environment. The staging is something pre-prod. Before coming to production, we want to test it. So eventually we can have a live data copy as well, or we could have everything as a dummy data. It will not have anything related to what we do. It will say user 1, user 2, user 3. Appeal 1, appeal 2, appeal 3, something like that. It's a real dummy data. Proper dummy data. We could do that. Or we could have a seemingly real data. It may say a person named Rajesh, but Rajesh may not be a right beneficiary for us. We just create a name. Rajesh, Raghavan, probably, whatever name, Ramana, Anand, Adarsh, whatever we create, we can make something like a real data, but not actual one. We could do that as well. Let's have a strategy. Make a strategy, because I wouldn't even say that, probably cloning a prod data is again not good. Perhaps it might confuse us. Let's create a right staging environment. Number one, right? So that's what, see here, if you operate anything, let's say appeal, look at it, view all appeals. What is the latest we have? 207. But this is 421, correct? What is the current appeal ID we have now? 257. Vaman Rao.
Yeah.
So 50 appeals, 4 years. That is not cloned, but here you see the real appeal. Right? Probably this has got, we can go with it as well, nothing wrong. We can go with this also. But probably we can erase all test data, we'll only have dummy data. It's even more better. But here if we can find out, right, we were able to, that's okay. Right? That's the one thing. Now, so this was 4 years before. So we do have the task for it. SHaDE BAU improved is what we looked at it, Venkateshwaran. The releases what we made, here it is. So there are again July, it's unreleased. I don't know what had happened. V17, V19, sprint. SBI
I
V8.
think this is something 2024 we spoke around last year. We added a few changes related to transaction details.
Yes. Release date is enough transactional page and a few miscellaneous items. 2024, release date. It didn't happen at all. So good enough time for us to forget 4 years. This is also last year. What we can do, I don't really find any tickets here. Okay, here it is. Then we have it. Good. Unreleased, I'll come back to here. 18 itself, what you unreleased. But there are no tickets. Not sure. This was the sequence, right? 17, 18. This was version 17, June 2021. Correct? Next, I thought of making 18. I don't know why release version 17. What was the reason? Rest of the versions? I think I picked it up here, Janani. SBA release 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I picked it up from here.
Oh,
You get what I'm saying?
okay.
15, 16, 17 was the initial version of SBI 2015 when I started, correct? Here I started. Maybe I don't have the version history to track all the releases, but 15 onwards we have it in the GitHub.
Okay.
Source code was earlier, I had it in Bitbucket, then I ported that into GitHub where we are tracking it, everything. So 15, 16, 17. Now I could recall. 18, we don't have anything. So 19, we just have it. Maybe we could swap it. Instead of 19, we call it as 18 itself.
18, right.
We'll rename it. That 19 number, we can use it for something else. Okay. So let's look at what and all we had. Maybe let's look at this transaction form. This itself is good enough for us, no? Most importantly, we'll take a look. It was already prepared and planned for. I think we have groomed it. Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are there. I think I'll start from here. All these bitly. Last time you opened, I'll close them. What? It's all the pages we forgot to use. October 2024. Wow. Okay. Close all of them. Thing during the time. Okay. Current report. Okay. Let that be. I think we are in a better shape standing now. Right. SBI 13. I'll keep it here. What is our SBI 13? Transaction details acknowledgement page. Use a number to words converter program to reduce the manual work of spelling. We should do it now. Not a big deal. We could make it, certainly. This is all again. Okay, wait. We captured in SBI, but it should be in the SHaDE BAU. Correct? Got it confused. That's okay. We'll pour that into SHaDE BA, not BA improve. Because BA improved, we don't use it for acknowledgement at all. We didn't want to do it. It is in SHaDE. You can make a note, probably that's fine. This was long time. Appeal view page, transaction details should have credit and debit summary. What does it mean? Appeal view page transaction should have a credit debit summary similar to existing current prod version. That helps to quickly tally the funds received versus disbursed. Appeal view page. Okay, got it. I think the view transaction here or view appeals. Transaction info. This is what we are saying. Transactions should have credit debit summary. What transactions? Appeal view page. Usually I used to give a URL, which page we are referring to. Appeal view page, or is it the SBI? This is SBI. Let's go here. Here, transaction, appeals, URL appeals. Summary. Why nothing is coming? Completed. We have it here. I don't know whether was it meant to show the summary here.
Yes, like in I think BAU we have a summed up column, right, where it says what
Not
is the
here.
total of credited and what is the total of debited.
Here,
So
here, this
the
one.
blue highlighted one.
This is not BAU. Okay, that's correct. BAU, you are right. That's BAU. That's BA improved. You are right.
Mhm.
So this one. So we wanted to have it here as well.
Mhm.
Credit debit. Here also we wanted to show. Okay. So that is where BA improved. Makes sense. It would make sense, right, for us.
Mhm.
Okay, one more thing to check. Is it worth doing the efforts required, whatever we are doing in SHaDE BA improved? Maybe yes, this is where we need to align. If it is not really going to add much of values, eventually we need to start looking at the next gen development. Otherwise, we don't need to necessarily add values or weightage to the BA improve. Then eventually we need to port once again to next gen. Rather, we can discard it or put a tag. Probably what do you call? Postpone to next gen or whatever it is a tag. Then we can take it up. With that tag, we can filter or park it for next gen, and let's add a tag. Anyways, in the current BAU improved, if you don't want to look at it, we can look at it in BAU. Do we have a way to live with it? Credit debit summary, we can look at. Venkateshwaran, you are still there? Okay. Venkateshwaran?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, hope you are listening. You are
Yeah, reference.
okay. So we can outweigh. Do we have a way to live with it?
There is.
Yes. Where? So we can update it. Okay. So what we could do, where do we add the labels? Here. Parked for next gen. Let's take it. Okay. Okay. So we should take this out of the sprint. Okay. How do I take it? Fixed version V19. We can remove it. Ideally should be V18, removing the fixed version also. So it will go out. You look at it, you reload the page, 75 will no longer appear. See, it has gone. Okay.
And how to move the SBI 13 to BAU?
That what we need to do. Directly we can't do it. We need to copy paste.
Copy paste.
Jira generally doesn't allow. We can invalid, take it out of mark, take it closed, copy, clone this or whatever. We have to see whether they allow it or not. Time and again, it's up to Atlassian to allow the movement of Jira from one project to other project. As the best of my version, whatever I have been, the version of Jira that I have been working on, they didn't support it. We need to only within the board we could manipulate it. What we could do, we can close this,
Yeah.
then copy and paste it to the SHaDE next gen board itself. That is transaction account node number to word. Or sorry, it is to the BAU board, not
BAU. Yeah, yeah. I got it. Maybe we can make it as cancelled and then copy the same content to
Correct.
BAU.
Okay, we need to remove that as well. What about 75? It also parking, yes. Okay. So this is good. Next. Now this will also go.
Mm.
It would have gone to backlog. 94. Okay, one another point what we need to do. Here the important aspect is we will initially, of course, yes, our primary focus is to start with the next gen development. But currently running, we have two different sites. One is for the general public, other is for our own SBI, which we have not published it yet. So we need to see what is the most essential thing to develop and spend our energy to release it in both. If things can live with it, we'll make use of it. Let's not really spend time. Or in any of the versions, it's a real pain. We need to better spend the time until we make the next gen up and running. It is worth spending the time for each of the sites. Let's do that. That's going to be our common focus. That should be our objective as well, right? Not anything and everything. Of course, yes, we are free to record our thoughts in Jira. As and when it appears, let's record it. But we need to outweigh the priority. This is called as grooming. Other thing is deemed ready. In agile terminology, deemed ready is from a product, as a product owner, backlog owner, or product team. We will give all the necessary inputs for the item to be picked up. That's what is deemed ready. I think here pretty much all the items we know what is it, what needs to be done, considering our relevant years of experience, and we are the one who define it. We don't need to check with any business. We are the business here. So we can, every item is deemed ready. That's not a separate exercise. Only thing we are doing the prioritizing, it is called grooming. That's what we are doing. We are evaluating the priority importance and whether we should pick it up now or it can be parked, taken later. That's the exercise we do, right? Okay. Transaction details can be masked for the security purpose. Okay, this is an interesting feature, right? UPI transactions show the full mobile number for few transactions. Better to mask the characters in the transaction remark for the general public for the security reasons. Mobile number, got it. Not the UPI transaction number, only the mobile number. We can, however, it will be displayed in full only for the admin for the concerned owner. If you log in with the admin, it can show. If you log in without login, if anybody looks at it, it should not. Right? Sometimes I think Google Pay and all, we have an option to mask it. I didn't know. I have not done it. People do mask it for security reasons. It doesn't show it in full. If you don't do it, it will publish it to your entire mobile number. That was in a way easy for us to catch hold of the person by looking at their mobile number. We try to match the contact who could have made it. That is fine. But in the website, when we display, we wanted to mask it. I think it's worth taking it on the current. This is also not BAU. It should be for what? SHaDE BAU, not BAU improved. It's for the SHaDE BAU, right? So what we could do. So what we can do, Janani, this should be, please make a note, SBI 13 and this SBI 94. All right. So this is also gone. So we have two items. One is the security. For a SHaDE BAU, we need to go create. Let's see. Whether can it be? Does it allow? No. Wow. SHaDE BAU. It allows. But we have to see whether the numbers lose a relationship with the parent. To do. Okay. Let's see. Parent epic, that's fine. It is allowing now, Jaran. Earlier it wasn't. Now it is allowing. You're seeing, no? I'm showing you. With an admin, we could do that. Yeah. I think we would have done all at once. That's fine. So we were able to successfully acknowledge. Okay. SB59. Wow. So it got converted into SB59. So we need to create a release. Okay. What was that? SBI 13. Huh? Number to word. This also should be converted. Oh. Interesting. They are allowing now. This is task or improvement. That's fine. It's allowing me to send an email. Okay. Status. Send an email. Next. Once again, it is asking me to confirm. There you go. It always treated as a bulk operation, migrating one issues. Yeah. SB60. That should have been in sequence. That's fine. SB59, SB60. So SBI 94 got converted into SB 59. SBI 13 got converted into SB 60. Now, what will happen really SBI 13? Does it ever appear? It got renamed, moved automatically. So whenever you try to access SBI 13, it moved. Likewise, SBI 94 will move to SB 59. Wow. Automatic redirection. They manage it. Even though you hit, it gets translated. Very good, very good feature they have. So we moved it. Now let's close this. We need to go there and create a sprint and release. Let's do that, right? So let's look at it, regroom what was already parked. We are not going to look at the rest of items in the backlog. We are only refining what was already parked for release in SBI, improved. Transaction, okay, now I need to refresh it. 94 is gone. Yeah. 105. Close them. Transaction acknowledgement page automatically suffix SHaDE member at the end of the remarks for the SHaDE member. As I've noted, highlight the SHaDE member, a string SHaDE member is explicitly manually suffixed in the remarks column. This can be automated. For COVID 21 support Felix family SHaDE member. So eventually, if you look at it, this was the image. We had a 2021. So we put it. So if we enter the SGID, they should automatically suffix, which is a very legitimate ask. We could do that, but not high priority. Still need to have it. Yeah.
This is completed in BA.
This is BA only. Should not be BA improved. Probably by mistake when I chose and entered a task, the project chosen was BA improved. It should be BAU.
Yeah, in BAU it is completed now. That's what I was trying to say.
It is there, huh?
Yeah, it is fixed actually.
Oh, then probably I have to take a look. I don't know what I did. Okay, it is there.
Yeah, it is there.
Awesome. I
I
remember.
don't know if I categorize this correctly as BAU or BAU improved.
You have
But
done it here.
this is-
Here it is.
yeah.
Okay, great.
But again, even then, we have to move it to SD.
Yes. Let's do that later. No idea when did we do it, but that's fine. Oh, it is losing the epic. Okay, we need to categorize and put a task. Similarly, we need to have an epics created. SHaDE BI improved whatever epics we have, we should better have it in SHaDE also. That is when this movement will not lose under the same epic that gets added. Anyways, we should have done that prior. That's fine. See, parent epic. This is to review. That is there. It is to do. It should have been done. Let's do that. Okay. 105 move to 61. See the sequence maintained. 59, 60, 61. What we could do here instead of to do in review. Not in review, rather you can say done.
Done. Yeah.
Epic we need to add parent. What is that? This is transaction.
I think there isn't much epics created in BAU.
BA improved. SBI 105 move to SB 61. You can take a note, right? Okay. This is also vanished now. Next. Emails are not going with GoDaddy. Still it's not running, right? GoDaddy, I don't know. I struggled a lot by shouting them, having a long calls. Nobody understood. The technical high level of management, they got it escalated. And finally, I made it work. That also, I think, got broken after a couple of months. So this is very big pain. It should be moved to SB, not SBU, SBI.
Actually, in between, what I did was I added the email preview option in even without selecting the preview.
Hmm.
Just showing the preview, it made it made our job easier so that we can just copy everything in a single page. But now I think the preview itself is not displaying. It shows the error message and just says email had been sent.
Then that something got messed up. This is a good
So
question.
this also
Yes,
same, sir.
yes, Venkatesh.
The same thing. Then like I share the problems. Problem I will face it. So,
No, we need to sort it out. Eventually, that is when I'm
mm,
telling you, right? Add a task today, high priority task. Certainly, I'll take a look. When did we last, or how long we hold the account to the GoDaddy? Worst case, I don't know Amazon how much will be the billing. We will give it a try. Even 1 month, it's fine. We can stop it. I don't know what contract we should take it. Let's give it with Amazon, AWS, or Azure Cloud. We can try. AWS is prevalent because GoDaddy, because I've been running with them for past 15 years. Or Netigrity, the one whom I started with. Bangalore based, ours is a very small footprint. GoDaddy is 5 years, I just gave it, but nothing really fruitful. We are not even able to make our basic functionality. So Netigrity at least should be good enough, but I'll have to take a look at the hosting account's validity. I paid the money, they don't refund it, right? Let's take a look, Netigrity, if something we could do it. Or rather, what we can do, Netigrity will get a hosting. Email alone, the DB we will migrate it here and there. Email alone, we can keep it there. Take a backup and put it here. Something we need to do. Only for email we can use it. We'll have to see. You get what I'm saying? Use this under different hosting. Only email go from different server. But let's not save it. We are saving it here. GoDaddy. Let's see a temporary arrangement. From within this, we can use it. Nitty-gritty, let's see. Explore other option because that also VPN hosting I was looking at. Probably not very economical or cost optimized it was. But let me explore nitty-gritty. They were very reliable, right? Standard. There are too many hosting providers. We'll have to see who can help us better, right? Okay. So this again, I'll move it to shared BAU. Good point. You are saying 2024 October, you sent the initial mail to Prasanna, it went, right? But not for the transaction acknowledgement, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So I'm moving this to shared BAU. I will check on the time as well. This is a bug actually, correct. What epic it was? 122 emails, sir.
66.
Transaction acknowledgement workflow. So generally another task, we need to create and map the epics from shared BA improve to shared BA. This is the epic transaction details acknowledge workflow. Let me create one. I don't know whether it allows. Okay. We need to create an epic here. Sure, I'm creating one before moving. Okay. SB62 was an epic. So let's try doing this. SB bug. We'll lose a relationship, is it?
I don't think it is giving a
Epic
map.
issue as well. Oh. But we can't move the epic, it's fine, we can map it there.
Map it.
Naturally, when it gets created, we can choose the epic. That's fine. Anyways, we created an epic, right? We'll manage it.
Mm.
Like DBT does it. That's it.
What is the purpose of doing acknowledge? Yeah?
Meaning you are good or you want to.
Oh,
You
okay.
cannot change anything. When you say acknowledge, only then it redirects. It goes.
Okay.
So SB63, here we can add, that's
Yeah.
all. The epic we could map it, right? Okay, fair enough. Next. HBA 122 is also moved. I think it's very appeal view. I think mostly it all fall into the same category. Whichever was supposed to be a part of SHaDE BAU, we created in BA improve.
Improved, yeah.
You to show the volunteer name along with the ID. This is SBI.
SBI, yeah.
Shows only ID, but we can change it to show the username as well for the quick view, which otherwise will demand a manual lookup. Okay. This can be enhanced with the user ID name together. Makes sense, not just with the name. Yeah. So this is a wherever possible I used to do that to make more sense. Okay. Yes. All right. This we should take. That's fine. One item properly we have. Okay. What next? Transaction data insert form. This is again should be a part of the BAU. To pull out the beneficiaries while remitting the funds. Currently, it does not have a way to automatically pull out the beneficiary's name, email address while electronic the transaction for the fund disbursement remittance, which demands a manual lookup. Currently, there is no way to automatically pull out the beneficiary details while sending an email for the remittances. How do we key in them? Name and email address, is it?
Something like beneficiary.
Under beneficiary, we should show it. This is sending an email to remittance email.
Yeah,
Got
debit
it.
transaction.
Then we should have a separate category.
Mm.
Then that should do a type packet search,
Mm.
match with those people, we choose it, and their details can be populated, name and. Let's say, what if there are two Venkateshwarans? Venkateshwaran. You type and pick, select firm of the decision, matching with that name, whatever ID we choose, that we should pick it up. I think this is a good feature.
Or we can even map it with appeal. Because for every appeal, there is going to be a beneficiary.
Then we should do it, appeal, acknowledge, remittance, then it will pick it up. Because what if the appeal gets closed? Or we can do it. Irrespective of the appeal status, we can look up. But there has to be a link from appeal. You need to choose the appeal from drop down, then you pick it up.
Because here, anyways, we are picking up appeal for description purpose.
This should go. Sorry,
Next.
had a very long week. Yesterday also till morning 4 o'clock I was awake. Every day, whole week 4, 5 I was up and running.
Anyway, you sleeping then?
4
All
hours,
sleep.
4 hours, 3, 4 hours in the morning. Print book. Venkateshwaran, you are there still with us? Venkateshwaran,
Yes, sir.
you are still with us?
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah, sure.
SBI 66 transaction detail acknowledge.
Okay.
Move.
Okay.
You should have an email except the first one. Our SHaDE.team email you should show.
Hmm.
Naturally. Where is that? Inbox. Oh, it goes into your folder? Jira, reminder. It's not a reminder. Admin. Where is that? Not sure. Mhm. I don't know where they send an email. Okay, fair enough. This is fine. Where it is moved to? We acknowledge it. It moves to SBI 130, SB 64.
Hmm.
Can choose this. All right. 61. That also we can choose without a problem. 60. Luckily, all of them are the same epic. We are good. 59. 59 was the first one, right? Transaction details. Got it. Yep. Okay. VAU. What next? Bug type modified
This is again DA.
and beneficiary is chosen. Transaction type modified to credit.
When we select the beneficiary,
Hmm.
the drop down automatically changes back to um, debit.
Default value credit 2024. We choose debit because of the remittance acknowledgement. Okay. Now the transaction type automatically changed to credit with the presumption and is mainly for acknowledging the credits. Got it. See, meaningfully
Hmm.
images were added. Okay. So let's do one thing now. Club up these two. The previous one, the current one. Create a new radio button called remittance.
Hmm.
That way, naturally, beneficiary transaction will be chosen as debit. Choose the appeal ID, then it will populate. All at once can be clubbed.
Hmm.
So what we can do? Let me not for 103, is it? Which one we just moved, Jeremy?
$64 or 65?
B64, from where it came? 62. Where are 63, 64s? Where are those 63, 64? Why I don't see them? 58, 59. All work.
So can you expand the first one, SB62? Under
Underverse is got mapped. Here it is. That's correct. They are tagged under Epic. Which one we are talking about?
64.
Here, 64. SB64. So do we have a traction from where it got migrated? History. Yeah. SBI
Oh, okay.
66. SB 62. SBI 60. SBI 132 to 64. Here it is. Right? SBI 132. SB 62, huh? No, 64?
Oh, 64.
Correct. Okay.
So sorry for the interruption.
Sure.
Now going to the metro station, so there is no more sickness there. It's take to 5 to 15 minutes to reach my home.
No
After
problem.
I out home, I will rejoin, sir.
Thank you. No problem. Thank you. Take care.
Rejoin within the 10 minutes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
So I'm moving this journey, SHaDE BAU improvement. I think there's a potential improvement we should do. Okay. To do. What we could do? Where are you sending the email to?
For each issue affected by this corporation.
SBI 133. Do we get the email or not? It is migrating knowledge. SB 65. We shared that team, right? I don't know why it doesn't send an email, but it says so. Okay. SB 65. We'll take it there, right? Oh, both are modified now.
It got updated. Okay.
Naturally.
Okay.
SBI 132, right?
But anyways, we have it in history. You know.
Yeah. 133, 132. I hope this doesn't get expanded. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, great. This is totally shrunk now. Transaction detail insert form. This is also of SB, not SBI. To get redesigned. This was a major epic.
This is kind of similar what we have mentioned in the earlier issue, Rana. Like we can club both beneficiary.
Actually, if you want to give a new look, everything else can be slashed down where we can add it. Take little more extra efforts. How does it look, Jenny? Probably can we make it as a tab based, similar to how the profile section we have? Email particulars, transaction particulars, where you key in only for the appeal ID, amount, and the transaction remarks. That's it. Finally, one more tab, like profile page we have, no?
Understand.
Likewise, we make it tab based forming. You don't see everything at once, but tab based, and you get more area to work on. So that way it'll be easy where you can slash it down. Top first view itself, you can do it. What do you want to do? Credit, acknowledge, send and acknowledge a transaction, acknowledge a remittance,
So
acknowledge
it
a
will start
miscellaneous
with that.
transaction. So that way we can choose the next set of actions. It could be beneficiary. And if you want to acknowledge a transaction, is it for ongoing beneficiary, regular beneficiary, or on-demand appeal? That way we can have a question answer type and then redesign it. I think that'll be thoughtful, right? SHaDE AI itself, we can have it. For sure, we can reuse it for next gen also, right?
Yeah. But is there any reason why didn't we move this to SBI?
It was wrongly tagged to SBI.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just thinking why didn't we have a similar setup for
When we
SBI?
stop, no, initially SBI was created. Appeal
Mm.
beneficiary, that's the natural flow.
Mm.
And finally, when we were about to go there, that's when it all stopped.
Okay.
We were creating the profile, appeal
Mm.
creation, beneficiary, appeal view, stop. Next
Okay.
natural sequence was transaction acknowledgement.
Mm.
You do it right away in SBA itself. In that
Mm.
case, what happens? Stop doing it in the existing
Mm.
PAU, use it in SBA. Use
SBI.
SBA for our full-fledged administrative activities. We could do that. That's also a good suggestion. Why not? Moving this to okay, then we'll read it in SBI.
Yes, now because we can open SBI.
Then probably the redesign, we'll keep it in SBI itself.
Mm.
What next? I think that's all. Only two we have.
Mm.
So what we could do alongside an email as well, I'll see whether if we can probably get this done. An email issue with the GoDaddy and hosting account. Then nitty-gritty, exploring the solutions. We'll see how best we could do that. Okay. So that pretty much sums up. Do we have time to look at something more? I'll stop now.
Yeah, I have some. Depends upon your availability.
Sure. So what we can do, this is fine. Let's look at BAU and the version. That's okay. This is all right.
I think in BA improved or the most of the Jira tasks that I have created in SBI without the understanding where it should go.
It happens. That's fine. Sometimes by default, it chooses the recent project. It happened with me too.
Mm.
So our focus will primarily be to log the Jira,
Mm.
not really paying an attention to modify the project type. It was
Other
auto.
thing.
So it happens. That's fine. So what we could do here itself, okay, two things we should do now further. One, look at the backlog, probably just a quick, what you call glance of the SHaDE BA improved, whatever is there. And see what can we club it up to take it into next sprint. Number one.
Mm.
Number two, SHaDE BAU, not the BA improved, SBA. SHaDE BAU itself, we'll take a look and prioritize. Create a sprint, and what is the most important? Take this. Yep. So let me go. This is BAU. Under this epic, they are categorized. I think this also should be moved under that. Everything seems to be new page for miscellaneous transactions. See, all of them are under transaction only. Oh, aha. Hmm. This we should take it. Admin members. Search page by the username. Non-members. Okay. So currently we have this page only with the username, member name, not with the non-member name.
Maybe we should make it as donor name.
Or rather, what I would say, Janani, we do have the Jiras. What we can do, you know what? Maybe my best bet. Anyways, we are living it. Email is a pain. I agree. Let's take a look. Rest of others, we still need to redesign, develop for next gen. Correct? My 2 cents is probably let's filter the pretty much painful points with we cannot live without. Let's take that. Rest of others, anyways, we have a little more pain, I don't deny, but let's make it as part of next gen. Otherwise, the next gen will still be a long dream. Let's start generating. Let's start capturing Confluence and Jira. Obviously, login. We had a reports. We have a login. Next gen. Let's get into it. Same database, but under next gen, we'll have it. Typically, to begin with, under SBI, whatever we have, we could do it in next gen also. Or take that as a reference, develop it based on this framework. Responsive, bootstrap, etc. That way, it would be 3 mangoes in 1 stone. BA improved next gen, rather, you cut it down the efforts required. Redesign, anyways, we're gonna do. Let's do it in the next gen. Why to have it here and then put it there, 2 different, it's a mistake. Rather, yes, agreed. We are not having the right, probably there. Let's do it once for next gen. Redesigning is a brand new exercise. Let's do it for the next gen. Let's start building in there. What we need to do? Let's 2 things we should do. Create a Confluence page. User login, what you want to see. User registration, what you want to keep it. Transaction acknowledgement, what you want to do. Remittance acknowledgement, what you want to do. Transaction, yeah, acknowledgement and remittance. Miscellaneous transactions acknowledgement, what you want to do, how do you map it? Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So likewise, if you do it, probably next gen when you are shifting it, it's all transaction only, right? ID, appeal ID, etc. Appeal ID will be remaining the same. Maybe I think that will be a big exercise. Appeal ID, if you want to shift everything, it will be a trouble. Every appeal. I thought we could do it. Naturally, against each appeal, right? Appeal N will be N plus 1. So that we can have appeal 1 as a SHaDE contribution appeal. Very first appeal is for SHaDE. Data migration will do it. Get what I'm saying? So naturally 257 for warm and dry will become 258. Or we may have some gaps. We could refill it. But one thing, the transactions for that particular appeal should be moved against the new transaction. So when we view for it, it will come. But sometimes the search comment you would have given, transaction description, appeal 251 and 252. That we have to carefully. Everywhere, I think in the remarks section, we would have got APL or appeal. Let's look for it. Primarily, it is for internal funds. Or sometimes people have given make
Migration.
my own and this as well. So wherever we map it for two different transactions, that alone we have to carefully update it. Or nevertheless, let's say for example, there are two things. One, mapping the transaction to the right appeal, which will naturally happen because you'll do +1. Each appeal, there are n transactions. Those transactions are mapped to appeal n, will now have to be mapped to appeal n+1.
+1.
But the remarks, what was
Remarks are we have to.
that also we need to carefully update it. That's when it will make it complete. This exercise will help us where appeal 000 hanging fruit can be categorized now. Appeal 18 may possibly become appeal 19. It is okay. Because that was in sequence, right? We catered on initially 2010 we started triples. That was in sequence. So be it. We'll have to review it carefully. If it so happens that appeal ID 18 becomes 19, it is all right. All the transaction under 18 will now have to be migrated to 19. This way, we don't need to worry about reserving a transaction ID sequence somewhere in 999, etc. Let's have it from the beginning to have the real meaningful. Please take a note. During the transaction migration, data migration, we should do that. Next gen. First part itself, data to be migrated under next gen. We will have a separate database called next gen database. We should be operating it again next gen database.
That should be our first.
Yes, very first. We should keep it ready. Right? All right. Then what do we do? I think pretty much we can take it. BI improved as well. Now what we can do generally? Probably I think we'll stop here. What collectively we agree. Obviously, we can look at the painful point. One is the email hosting. I look at the hosting plan and I'll take a look. Since when it is active, accordingly we will understand. We'll take a call. Email can happen in the current system. Rest of others, let's have the Confluence page ready. Then the Jiras we have to create freshly under next gen project. Either we move it or clone it, copy paste.
If we clone it, we have to enter the comment in both the projects, right?
You get everything, copy, and you enter it.
Okay.
Moving will move it. It will not be there in the source project. It will only be moved. Cloning will retain in both the places.
So if we update in one place, the other place will also
No,
get it.
that will not happen.
That's what my question is.
That will not happen. It will be
But
just
that's not
a point
needed
in
anyway.
time. At the time of creation, you want some values to be pre-filled. Thereafter, it's a separate item. Updating on one will not reflect back on other. So what we could do, let's do one thing. Next gen login we'll create. Take step by step. Login member profile. Mostly we could use it from SBI. Tab based. Transaction redesign also, let's do it in a similar fashion. All right. Nitty-gritty will explore. I don't know how much they charge now. They're okay. Bengaluru, Karnataka. Windows Linux hosting, Bengaluru. So cloud Linux SSD, AWS Linux SSD, Linux SSD cloud. C plans. 5,300 per month. My goodness. Windows SSD cloud. Fourth, okay, SSD cloud. Linux hosting, Linux unlimited hosting. We could go with this 5 mailing lists, 5 databases, 5 websites, 5 GB bandwidth. This should be good enough for us to begin with. Let's take this plan. They'll be easily setting this up. Should be good enough. But 1 GB disk space, that's limited. Entire database also what we have should not go beyond it. Luckily for now, we are tracking every other document attachments under Google Drive. Oh, there as well we need to modify. Folder name.
Mm.
Because when
This
we
one.
shift the appeal ID, you should shift it here as well, eventually, right? Or from the portal itself, we can get that details.
Mm.
If you want, it is the best option. Go to Google Drive, manually update it.
Mm.
We have few, not everything.
Mm.
Or time being, what we could do from within the portal, let's create a page. For this ID, you give this detail. So from there, you click on it and do it until we move it, if at all, right?
Mm.
So let's take this with the email also, they will support it. 1 GB or 2 GB, this is fine. 250 per month, how much it takes? 250 per month, 3,000 rupees per annum.
Mm.
Decent, we should go with it. Or if you take it in a yearly, oh, this is 5 years. 250 per month is 5 years. If you take
5 years.
1 year, you take 313 per month.
330.
They are also locking you. But that's fine, you take it. 2 GB. Here itself, how much? 209. 200, 2,400 rupees. 1 GB. Okay, what is actual disk size we have it in production, you can calculate. I don't think ours will go beyond 1 GB. Ours will go not beyond that, right? Let's take
Once we start storing the
possibly.
documents properly.
Storing the document will increase. Maybe we need to store it in AWS S3 bucket. If at all we have it, link it. Or AWS also, you go for it, there's all charged. Nothing is free. Cloud, every byte counts. Even image, just like that, we cannot take a big screenshot and store it. We have to be very optimized. Every byte costs us a lot. Have to be very optimized. Let's say an image can be represented in a 10 by 12 that comes up to 40 KB. You are lavish, you take 40 by 70 that takes 120 KB. That 80 KB occupies and it costs you every minute. Month on month billing that 80 KBs, that's a fundamental difference between the cloud. Pay as what you use. Have to be very mindful, very diligent, very cautious or conscious. Otherwise, it will go like till date. I am sponsoring. It's all my pocket. Right? Going forward, if it is very heavy, then there will be an operational challenge. So that is why still I don't look at the cloud hosting. If you look at it, I'm doing the simple Linux hosting. For us, it is good. We don't need beyond this, right? Should be decent enough. 1 year we will see how it goes. Then gradually we can migrate. We don't need to get ourselves locked for 5 years. It's about mediocre difference. 50 rupees per month, 600 per year. It's okay. That's worth the price we can go with it. Worth the risk that you are taking. Now GoDaddy, because of which I'm not able to migrate it. I need to see when I paid last. Maybe 2020, 21. We should be good by now. We should say Tata bye bye to them. They are very big pain. Let's do that. Eventually, I'll start setting it up here. The data, probably email, I'll have the very big pain. Let's do that accordingly. Okay, sure. I think that pretty much sums up now. Windows hosting, what is the difference? 200 per month. 240. Not a big difference. Anything else, Janani? For now?
No, I think
We did a grooming. It was helpful. Probably next week, we may start probably 2 things. One, create a confluence. List down the requirements. Accordingly, we can take a reference from the Jiras or create a fresh Jira. It's okay. Create a fresh Jira in the next-gen project. 1, 2, 3, 4, mapped under a story. Create one story itself for that user. And inside which we have to create as a task. Story is a deliverable task. What exactly user want to perform. All of them can be moved to an epic. Categorized to an epic. Let's say user profile is an epic. Transaction acknowledgement is an epic. Under which we can have stories. Miscellaneous transaction, remittance acknowledgement, transaction contribution acknowledgement. They're all stories. We could have multiple stories to it. I should be able to acknowledge a contribution.
So it's like epic and then story and then tasks.
Epic is a logical grouping. What and all we have. Story is a user story, what we say, what is testable by a user. What are we delivering as a full story? If it is bringing it down, we can say there is a DB task, there is a UI task, there is a backend task. Can split it down into task. Task also can be subdivided into subtask.
Subtask.
Inside UI itself, one configuration, one coding, etc. So we'll have to do. Eventually, next week, we keep this also ready, at least for one sprint. And eventually, let's probably take a look so that we can revise. So what is there already captured in it? Be an easy input for us to start logging in the stories for conference, under conference. Writing stories will be helpful for us. Okay. Sure. All right. Thanks. Let's catch up next week for the usual administrative.
Administrative.
Okay. Ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening.
Bye.